What's good, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 professional COD players right now. So that means that they're still playing, obviously. It's basically going to come down to a mix of three things: their individual talent, their intangibles, and how much they impact the game for their team's success, right? Second thing is in the comment section below, I want you guys to give me your top 10 current pro COD players. Whether or not you agree with my list, you think it's a good list, or you think I'm absolutely stupid, I want to know your opinions. Now, getting right into the top 10, this might be a hot take in a good or bad way. I'm probably going to get roasted by the Optic fans for having him so low, but coming in at number 10 is the one and only Skump. Now, if this list was all time, Seth would obviously go down as the best SMG player in Call of Duty history. He'd go down as a top 5 Call of Duty player of all time, but it's not. It's right now, and I feel like obviously top 10 is still unbelievable, but I just don't know if I could put him above some of the other players on this list, in my opinion. You know, he obviously still has the talent. He's very skilled mechanically. He impacts the game tremendously, but the biggest thing for me is when you've been as successful as Skump, right, in and out of COD for as long as he has, it's kind of hard to keep that fire, right, and to have that passion. And I think we've kind of seen that the past couple of years, where when a new COD drops, Skump's absolutely disgusting in the beginning of the game, but then he kind of tails off a little bit, right? And I think that's just because he might get to a point where he doesn't really enjoy the COD he's playing, or, you know, he would much rather be doing something else. And I think that hurts him. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's been one of the best Call of Duty players for the last decade, ever since I first got on Call of Duty, even before that. And he's also made himself a very successful living doing content and being a streamer and all that. So even though I know he's a competitor and he loves competing, he is getting older. You know, he might have a different mindset than he did when he was 19, even just by a little bit. But that's one of the main reasons why I have him only at 10. I wish I could put him higher, but I just can't compared to the other players on this list. Coming in at number 9, guys, is the one and the only boy Quavo, or I think he goes by Kenny now. Thank the Lord. But I have him at number 9 on the list. I know a lot of people in my last video that I did on CDL Pro Team rankings kind of didn't agree with what I said about Kenny, but I truly think he is one of the elite talents in COD. He's a very underrated player when it comes to his smarts, because his talent is so insane. It's like, it seems like it's hard, I don't know, for people to be able to connect that, like, you can be so mechanically gifted, so talented, and you can also be a very, very smart player. And that's what he is. Like, Ken is the perfect package from talent, from his in-game smarts, his awareness, his intangibles. He's a great teammate. He impacts the game in ways that only a few players in the league can. Like, when Ken is at his best, he is a top 5 player easily. Now, I know you could say that for most of the players on this list, right? Oh, well, you're saying what if? Like, if he's on his A game, right? But I know Ken, and I know it's kind of hard to judge because of Modern Warfare last year and it being online and him being in California for the whole year besides champs. But I do think he's massively underrated now, and I think that he is one of only a few players who can consistently take over and win your team a game by himself. For number 8, guys, I got Huke the Nuke, the boy Kool-Aid. Well, actually, y'all probably don't even, there's an inside joke between me and him, but the homie Kyler. I think Kyler grew a lot last year in Modern Warfare when he first came into the scene, right? He was an unbelievable talent, but he was young. All he knew is playing for kills, right? And just being better, I teamed with him in AW, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't wrap my head around how he was doing the things that he did, right? And he's always been a very, very talented player, but there were some spots of his game where he had trouble with, right? His communication, his intangibles, you know, he was kind of one-dimensional in a way. But with Modern Warfare, and I think being on Dallas Empire with Crim, it really elevated his game to the next level. Now, his talent's obviously still the same. He's still an absolute beast, but he's more well-rounded. He understands how to win now. That was a big problem for him. He didn't know that it wasn't just talent. You know, talent can only take you so far. And when he joined Empire and he had Shotsy and Illy alongside of him, he kind of took a back seat to that, you know, main slayer, I'm just going to get kills. And he became more well-rounded. You know, he was running trophies, smokes in Modern Warfare in AW when I teamed with him in, you know, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, all those games. He was just running gun, period. Kyler, just go this way, kill people, don't worry about nothing else. So I think because he's become such well-rounded, he is impacting the game in different ways that he's never done before, because now he can do it just straight up by going off and taking over a game, and he can do it by making those smart plays or doing that dirty work. And it's insane when you have someone as good as Hugh being able to do that and being willing to do that, because not a lot of players want to. Not a lot of players want to do the dirty work, especially when they know that they're so talented where they could go out and look like a superstar in every single map. Coming in at number 7, guys, I have Celium. The biggest thing for me is I think he's still growing as a player. He's still very young, but he is a multi-dimensional player. And what I mean by that is he can run any role in the game, okay? He's not a strict SMG player, okay? He's not a strict AR player. He can run the AR, the sub, the flex role, whatever you need from him at the elite level, like at the top level, which not many players can do, okay? They might be elite at one role and good, you know, above average at another one, but being able to just switch it up whenever you want, flip the switch, whether you want to run an AR or SMG, that's a rare thing in Call of Duty. There's no flaws. You know, he's a very good player. He's a smart player. He's a great teammate. I feel like the 7th spot is a good spot for Celium. I think this is well deserved in my opinion, but that might be a little bit of a hot take. I don't know. You guys let me know. Coming in at number 6, guys, I have Arcides. Alec is he's an interesting player, right? Because I feel like he's not your traditional main AR type of player. He has a very unique play style, in my opinion. And he's been a top 2, top 3 main AR for, I think, damn near 3 years now. I truly think the strongest part of his game is his in-game awareness and his just overall COD smarts and how he's able to translate that to his teammates. You know, he's teaming with a lot of young players, Simp, OAKBOYZ, and Celium. And while they don't necessarily need the help, he is the in-game leader. He is the floor general. He makes sure everything is running accordingly, which is tough. It's tough to be able to do that at a high level while worrying about yourself and your own individual gameplay. And he's had no issues doing it. I know he's basically been that guy for the past couple of teams that he's been on. And he's consistently been one of the best ARs, like I said, for the past few COD titles. And that's why I have him at the number 6 spot. Number 5 on my list is the guy who just isn't a pro. He's right below. He's a level below pro. I didn't want to put this fucker in the video, but, you know, game respect game. So it is none other than Octane. Hands down, in my opinion, he's been the best assault rifle player the past couple COD titles. Sam he's like one of the most insane aimers I've seen in Call of Duty history, to be honest with you. It's insane to me how consistently he can actually take over a game as the main AR player on his team, because majority of the time the games are won and lost by your SMG players, by your flex players. I know, as weird as that sounds, but your main ARs are like your point guard, okay? They're there to facilitate, to help lead the team, to, you know, help make sure everything is going correctly, but they don't necessarily take over, because it's just a lot harder to, you know, you have to play slower. You have to, you know, maybe do things that aren't really that exciting. You know, you might be holding a spawn, okay? You might just be sitting back pre-aiming. But Sam is just a different beast. I mean, don't get it twisted, okay? He is one of the slowest master. He's one of the slowest players, one of the biggest baiters in the game, but he just continues to take over from COD to COD. He's proven that he's been one of the best ARs the past couple titles. He's proven that he's been one of the greatest assault rifle players, main ARs of all time in Call of Duty history. Coming in at number 4 is one of the 2 tiny terrors, and that is OAKBOYZ. And the reason why I have him at 4 on my list is because everyone knows OAKBOYZ's play style, all right? He's holding the W, well, not the W, you get what I'm saying. He's holding forward always, okay? He doesn't have a switch to turn it down. He's just running at you. He is the aggressive entry sub player for FaZe. He's one of the fastest players in the COD League. And the fact that he's able to do what he does at the level that he does it with the hardest role, in my opinion, in COD, which is that entry sub player, is nothing short of mind-blowing. Okay, he's an unbelievable talent. His mechanical skill is crazy when it comes down to his movement, to his shot. Everything is top tier. He's a great teammate. You know, he's one of those players that I would say you can never get mad at, right? Because he's always kind of giving you those good vibes, those kind of laid back, funny vibes. But don't get it twisted. I mean, he might be a tiny terror, but this dude is cold-blooded. Number 3 on the list, guys, is a Chicago Optic player, and it is none other than Envoy. I think Envoy has really kind of shook the scene the past couple years, because I don't know if many of you guys are familiar with some of the older COD titles, but Envoy actually played in AW, and he was not good. He actually teamed with Kenny and Spacely and Assault, I believe, but he was not that great of a player. And then obviously with the age limit and everything, he took a step back, came back in Black Ops 4, had a crazy year with his Midnight team. They came out of nowhere, and then with Gen G. And then Modern Warfare, even though it was online, he looked unbelievable all year. Envoy, I think, is one of the smartest players in Call of Duty right now. Every time I watch, he just always knows the situation. Okay, nothing catches him off guard. He's a great teammate. He's an unbelievable talent as well. I mean, all of these guys are. I know I keep saying it, but obviously, if you're a top 10 Call of Duty player right now, you're gonna be disgusting, right? But I think the biggest thing for me is how he's evolved into this complete player, from the skill, the intangibles, his communication, you know, the way he can set his teammates up for success, right? Set his team up for success. Once again, a lot of COD players don't understand that aspect. Okay, they just look at themselves, and that's all they care about, whether they will admit it or not. Okay, and I'm not going to air no one out, but he is able to be a complete floor general for this Optic team. I would compare him to like a Draymond Green on the Warriors on the Dynasty team, but that can actually shoot. Okay, that is how I would compare Envoy, and he's been consistently top level talent for the past 2 years. I don't think that's going to change with Cold War. And to top it all off, he is just so damn good when it comes to aiming. His communication is average at best, and I know, you know, that is a huge part of it, but I just think his overall impact on the games that he has is, you know, without a doubt, arguably the highest. He has the highest impact. I definitely think he's the MVP for this Dallas Empire team, and it showed in MW. When he's on, he's the best player in the world. It's simple as that. Now for these last 2 guys, I'm sure you can all guess who they are, but maybe you don't have them in the exact order that I do. Coming in number 2, I have Shotsy. I don't even know if I have to say much about Shotsy. There were a lot of skeptical people in Modern Warfare when he switched over from Halo. He is a Halo world champion, and I don't know why people were so skeptical about him, but he definitely shut all the haters up. I mean, the kid was one of the best talents I've seen in FPS history ever. his movement is like, I don't even understand how he does what he does, right? And it doesn't seem like any other COD player can ever replicate exactly how he moves around the map. And that was his biggest strength in Halo. Like when I talk to other Halo pros in Halo 5, they would always say like, it's Shotsy number one, and there's a tier, and there's everyone else. And it's just like, I was like, why? Like what makes him stand out? Like is there a way that he's just that much more mechanically gifted? And they told me it wasn't even necessarily about, you know, like the shot or anything like that, but his movement, just the way he moved around the map, the way he took his routes with his movement, and it transferred to COD clearly. I mean, he's a one of one. I don't know if I can compare him to anyone, or I should say if I can compare anyone to him. And to top it all off, he is just so damn good when it comes to aiming. His communication is average at best, and I know, you know, that is a huge part of it, but I just think his overall impact on the games that he has is, you know, without a doubt, arguably the highest. He has the highest impact. I definitely think he's the MVP for this Dallas Empire team, and it showed in MW. When he's on, he's the best player in the world. It's simple as that. Last but certainly not least, I think this person has a great shot to go down as a top 5, top 3 Call of Duty player of all time. I know it's still early to say, but this kid is special. You guys already know who I'm going to say. It is Simp. You know, I didn't know much about him before Black Ops 4. I'll be honest. I knew he was an S&D kid, but after competing against him and just watching him play, he is just like a freak of nature. Like, I hate to be this guy, but he's like a LeBron James coming into the league in Call of Duty. I don't think anyone's ever seen a player as good as him when it comes down to his mechanics, how good he is at everything, you know, respawns, search and destroy. It doesn't matter if it's a hard point, if it's an uplink, if it's a control, you know, whatever, CTI, it doesn't even matter. I would also say he's probably the smartest SMG player in COD. Now, I don't know if you guys really watch Simp for that aspect, but I do. That's just how I watch a lot of players. I don't really care how talented they are, how straight they can shoot. Believe me, I saw Sam shoot straight for a lot in my time, okay? But this dude's dumber than a block of bricks. But just the way Simp moves around the map, right? The way he engages in his situations, in his gunfights, or how he backs down because he knows he's at a disadvantage. Okay, he's one of the few players that is able to do that at a high level consistently. Because in COD, you know, with the fast time to kill, a lot of people don't really think, they just react, right? And that equals to a lot of over challenging, ego challenging, whatever the case may be, maybe not thinking about the best route. You just want to get there the fastest. And not Simp. He is a slower paced, now I don't want to say slow, but he's a slower pace compared to a BZ who's on his team, more methodical player, and his in-game awareness is unbelievable. His impact on the game, I don't even need to get into that. I mean, he just takes over any game mode at whenever he wants, really. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen him have a bad series, not even like an average series. And his consistency since he's been in the league has just been wild. It's been crazy to me. It's been dope to see it though, because, you know, for the longest time, it's always been Skump. Now to see kind of that next generation of player come in, not even just Simp, but also with Shotsy. There's a lot of other players, you know, you could say your Envoys. It's cool to see. It is, and I think this is well deserved. I mean, the kid's been in the league for 2 years. He's got a chip. He's got a bunch of MVPs, and he just seems like the ultimate player, the ultimate team player, the ultimate player, whatever you want to call it. I don't see any flaws in his game. I literally put him at the top tier of every single category that you could think of, and I just don't know if there's a better COD player than him right now. I just truly don't. So that's my top 10, guys. If you agree with it, let me know in the comment section below. If you think I am absolutely fucking faded, also let me know. Tell me who your top 10 COD players are right now. I know I left out some big name players, but like I said, I valued it on the three things: the talent, the intangibles, and just the impact that they have on the game. So I really didn't include any of, you know, how successful they've been on a team necessarily, how many chips they have, none of that. It's just how good of a player they are as a full package, right? So it's no disrespect to any players that aren't on this list. I don't want y'all to take it that way. And at the end of the day, like I said, this is just my opinion. And what do I know? I'm a retired guy. As always though, guys, thank you so much for the love. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.